Okay guys, so I'm going to make a bonus video for today with a read aloud. And it's another read aloud that has to do with our transformation unit. This book is called Harold and the Purple Crayon. So I don't know if you guys have read this book before, but it's a really old book. It says it's the 60th anniversary. That means this book has been out for 60 years, which is longer than my parents have even been alive. It's a very old book. I read this book actually when I was a kid. So I'm hoping you guys like it too. We're going to read this book to find out about how Harold uses his purple crayon to transform the things around him. So this is Harold and the Purple Crayon. One evening, after thinking it over for some time, Harold decided to go for a walk in the moonlight. There wasn't any moon, and Harold needed a moon for the walk in the moonlight. So he's drawing one, and he needed something to walk on. So as we see, Harold's using his purple crayon to change the world around him to be what he wants. He made a long straight path so he wouldn't get lost, and he set off on his walk, taking his big purple crayon with him. But he didn't seem to be getting anywhere on the long straight path, so he left the path for a shortcut across the fields, and the moon went with him. The shortcut led right to where Harold thought the forest ought to be. He didn't want to get lost in the woods, so he made a very small forest with just one tree in it. It turned out to be an apple tree. The apples would be very tasty, Harold thought when they got red. Are the apples going to turn red, friends? Oh, what color are they? Purple, right? Everything's purple. So he put a frightening dragon under the tree to guard the apples. It was a terribly frightening dragon. It even frightened Harold, so he backed away, his hands holding the purple crayon, and it shook. Shh. Suddenly he realized what was happening. Uh-oh, what did Harold end up drawing? By then, Harold was over his head in the ocean. Uh-oh. He came up, thinking fast, and in no time at all he was climbing aboard a trim little boat. He quickly set sail, and the moon sailed along with him. After he had sailed long enough, Harold made land without much trouble. He stepped ashore on the beach, wondering where he was. The sandy beach reminded Harold of picnics, and the thought of picnics made him hungry, so he laid out a nice, simple picnic lunch. There was nothing there but pie, but there were 9 kinds of pies that Harold liked best. When Harold finished his picnic, there was quite a lot left. He hated to see so much delicious pie go to waste. So, what could he do? Who do you think he could draw? Or what can he draw to make the pie disappear? So Harold left a very hungry moose and a deserving porcupine to finish the pies all up. So they're going to eat them. And off he went, looking for a hill to climb to see where he was. Harold knew that the higher up he went, the farther he could see, so he decided to make a hill into a mountain. If he went high enough, he thought, he could probably see the window of his bedroom. He was tired and felt he ought to be going to bed. He hoped he could see his bedroom window from the top of the mountain. But as he looked down over the other side, he slipped, and there wasn't any other side of the mountain. He was falling into thin air. Uh-oh. Do you think Harold could draw something to get him out of trouble? What do you think he could draw? But luckily, he kept his wits and his purple crayon with him. He made a balloon and grabbed onto it. And he made a basket under the big balloon, big enough to stand in. He had a fine view from the balloon, but he still couldn't see his window. He couldn't even see his house. So he made a house with windows, and he landed the balloon on the grass in the front yard. But none of the windows were his window. He tried to think of where his window ought to be. So he made some more windows, and he made a big building full of windows. He made lots of buildings full of lots of windows. He made a whole city full of windows. But none of the windows were his window. He couldn't think of where it might be. So he decided to ask a policeman. The policeman pointed the way Harold was going anyway, but Harold thanked him. And he walked along with the moon, wishing he was in his room and in his bed. Then suddenly Harold remembered. He remembered where his bedroom window was when there was a moon. It was always right around the moon. And then Harold made his bed. He got in it and drew up the covers. The purple crayon dropped to the floor, and Harold dropped off to sleep. The end. So friends, what I think would be awesome if you can do today is to do an art project for me. What we're going to do is I'm going to have you guys take a piece of paper and your own magic purple crayon, okay? And you guys are going to change your paper into something awesome, right? Instead of just being a blank piece of paper, you can draw something awesome on it and change it like Harold did, okay? And then you guys can send me your picture and I will put them online for everyone to see. So I hope you guys have fun doing that, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.